Hi, it's Maija here with my November Random TBR, and it's time for you to pick what I will read next week. Last time you picked Knight's Master by Tanith Lee. It was pretty close, like every other comment was for Knight's Master and every other for Gods of Jade and Shadow, but in the end Knight's Master won. I am currently, when I'm filming this on Thursday, about 1/3 of the way through, and I'm loving it so far. It reads like fairy tales. In last week's comments, Mariam said that I would love Azran, and yes, it's like a prince of demons who, if you mildly inconvenience him, will strike you down with lightning. What's not to love? For the voting this time, I will try to use the poll function, so you can just click which one of these books you'd like for me to read next week. Once again, on Wednesday, I asked for 2 numbers on Twitter at MaijaRaids, and I got number 3 from Susanna Palomäki at Rakuunali and 12 from Mamaduck at Mamaduck9. So let's see what those picks are. First, I will again push out of the way the 2 books that I will not be counting because I can't read them right now. Okay, and number 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, Creatures of Will and Temper by Molly Tanze. And then 12. I got 12 last time too, but that was Knight's Master, so it's not here again, so it will not be a repeat, so I can use the 12. So that was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that is The Perilous Guard by Elizabeth Mary Pope. So I'm pretty excited about both of these options. Number 3 was Creatures of Will and Timber by Molly Tanzer, and this is a retelling of The Picture of Dorian Gray. It's set in Victorian London, and there's a fencer called Evadne Gray, and she's sent to London to chaperone her sister Dorina, an aspiring art critic, so Dorina Gray. There's also their uncle's friend, Lady Henrietta Henry Wotton, a local aristocrat and aesthete. So you can see it's a retelling of Dorian Gray with a lot of the characters changed to being women. Combining swordplay, the supernatural, and Victorian high society, Creatures of Will and Temper reveals a familiar but strange London in a riff on Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray that readers won't soon forget. And the cover is also absolutely beautiful. And the second choice was a middle grade, and that is The Perilous Guard by Elizabeth Mary Pope. And this one is a good choice because I am actually missing P from my A to Z TBR project, but this one is also historical. It's set in 1558. It's about young Kate Sutton, who becomes involved in a series of mysterious events that lead her to an underground world peopled by fairy folk. She's been exiled by Queen Mary Tudor to a remote castle known as the Perilous Guard, so that's their time period. So this one is a middle grade or maybe young adult, but with illustrations. It was written in 1974, so I'm not quite sure what the age category of this is, because it wasn't marketed as middle grade or young adult, of course, in 1974. So let's try voting by poll this time. You only have to click which option you want. You can, of course, leave a comment as to why you want me to read that book, but don't forget to click on the poll because that is how I will be counting the votes this time. And also let me know which way of counting the votes you prefer, and I'll be using that voting way in my next video. I think I will prefer the comments because then I will actually know who wanted me to read which book. But if I get a lot more votes with polls, if people seem to like voting by that more, then I will use that. But anyway, let me know if you want me to read The Creatures of Will and Temper by Molly Tanzer or The Perilous Guard by Elizabeth Mary Pope.